Welcome back everyone to another Baldur's Gate 3 Early Access playthrough, but this time we're upping the ante a little bit. Last time we completed the game with a full party, and I feel like that was a little bit easy maybe. I mean, it's good in one way, we can roleplay and do stuff like that, but now for the added challenge I wanted to do this as a solo playthrough with a solo wizard. First of all, we're gonna lay down some ground rules though. What is allowed, what is not allowed. So we're not allowed to add any companions into our party, like Astarion, Will, Shadowheart and so on. But we are of course allowed to have summons. We're allowed to recruit Halcyon because he's not technically a companion, so we can have him for a while if we want to. Also, we need to complete the main quests, the main story content. We cannot just, I know you can just speedrun this game, go to the Underdark, jump on the skiff and just be done with it, but that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna complete the goblins, we're gonna save Halcyon and so on. We need to do the main story quests. We don't need to do every side quest if we don't want to, but we at least need to do the main stuff. So, this first episode is going to be more of a guide. I'm gonna go through how I've allocated all the ability points, the spells I've selected and so on. And then the next episode is gonna be where we start playing the actual game. So if you're more interested in seeing the playthrough, there's hopefully going to be a link down in the description to, we can start watching that. But, let's get on with it. So, for ability points here, of course we have intelligence 9. Many of you might know that this is because very early in the game you can pick up a warped headband of intelligence, and then you don't need intelligence because it sets your intelligence to 18, so we don't need intelligence. The only things we actually need in this playthrough is dexterity and constitution, and then it would be nice to have some wisdom. Okay, so why do we need dexterity and constitution? The thing is, we don't need strength really. I put 6 in strength there, and the reason I put 6 in strength there is not really because we're gonna fight with a melee weapon, because I think we'll hardly use the melee weapon at all, even though we're a Githyanki. The reason I have 6 in strength is that it does 2 things for us. It makes it so that we can jump further, and also makes it so that we can push things easier. Technically though, we don't need the strength, because we could just buy potions of Hill Giant strength, which sets our strength to 21 for every time we need to push something that's heavy. But just to save on that and to make it so that we can push even more things in the game, I thought it would be cool to set our strength to 16, so that's why I have 16 strength. Constitution is 14 and dexterity is 14. We could have 15 here, but it won't matter. When we get to level 4, I'll probably either go into toughness, or I'll pick up the cleric adept so I can get guidance on this character, which adds a d4 to all our skill checks, if you're wondering what that does. So we could do that. We could do 15 dexterity and constitution, but that way we're gonna lose out on wisdom. I think wisdom is gonna be more important. And these points don't matter anyways, because we don't get an increased modifier. So that's why I've added some wisdom and some charisma. So why are we adding dexterity and constitution? Well, of course dexterity adds to our armor class and adds to our initiative, which probably the initiative won't matter too much, because most of the game is gonna be invisible and get the jump on them anyways. Constitution of course add to hit points, and that's very good to have an additional little buffer so we don't die too easily, because we are a squishy wizard after all. Even though we're wearing heavy armor, and of course we're buffing ourselves up, so in most cases we're gonna have armor class like 29 with mirror image and everything. So it's gonna be difficult to hit us, but still we're squishy. So also I've added wisdom. Why have I added wisdom? Well, I've added wisdom because I also went with perception for one of my skills, and I think perception is very important. It's very good to be able to pass perception checks in this game, essentially. I know we can also cheat the perception checks. You don't need wisdom really. We could just summon familiars until one of our familiars pass a perception check, but we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that because that's annoying. Also, we don't need strength, technically, as I said, because we can just pick up potions for that. But we cannot pick up potions for dexterity and constitution, so it's important that we have those. Intelligence, we picked up the warped headband. And charisma, we don't need really for anything. It's nice, of course, we can get some decreased prices in shops and stuff like that, but it's not gonna matter too much. Most things we're gonna steal anyways. And that's why we also picked up sleight of hand and stealth. I went with the origin urchin. It's gonna be easier to steal stuff. We're just gonna steal a lot of stuff in this game, just to make things easier. Other than that, let's see here. That's the skills that I went with. Then we have the class. And here okay, so let's look at the spells. First of all, the cantrips. The cantrips that were chosen here. The most important one is gonna be Firebolt of the cantrips. It is 1d6 fire damage and creates a flammable surface. It's because it's the most damaging spell, and since it's a ranged attack, if we attack from above, we're gonna get the advantage, meaning we roll 2d20 and take the highest roll, which means we're very, very likely to hit with Firebolt if we're on an elevation. Also has a long range, and the flammable surface then makes it so that if they stand in that flammable surface, they take 1d4 damage every turn. So it makes it so that 1d6 plus 1d4 essentially that we're doing with the Firebolt. But that's not all. Also, if they move in it, they take additional damage. So essentially this deals like potentially 12 or 13 damage. It's a very high damage nuke for being a cantrip. That's why I have it. Also, it functions well with acid splash, but of course, you can set the acid on fire. And the acid splash is good because it attacks dexterity, which means that you don't need elevation to be able to use acid splash. Sometimes this will hit easier than the Firebolt. And then we put one into light, and that's essentially just for convenience that we do this. This is when we get to the Underdark. We don't have dark vision on this character, so instead we're gonna put light on our weapon, and we can just sneak and be invisible or whatever, and we're still just gonna be able to see a little bit better there. We don't need this because we don't really use any attacks that have a chance to land, except for maybe our own Firebolt or something like that. But that's why we're picking up light. Then for the spells, the most important one is of course gonna be Magic Missile, because it's the damaging spell. We're gonna need Featherfall. This is when we sneak into... We're gonna use the well to get into the Underdark. That's why we have Featherfall. Find Familiar is very good to cheese certain encounters. Hopefully we're not gonna do that. Not gonna make too many promises, but hopefully not gonna have to resort to this. But also it's a very good to be able to not completely cheese stuff, because I know you can just kill bosses with just the familiar and they can't fight back. But what you can also do with the Find Familiar is, for instance, you can start combat so that everyone runs to this corner and then you sneak up from the other path or something like that. So there's very sneaky applications you can do with this. Grease is not needed, but I picked it up because we have so many things to choose here. Thunderwave is the same thing. It's sometimes useful to push things down, but rarely. Expedition Retreat can be good to get that extra dash. Jump we're gonna get from being a Githyanki, so we don't need to pick it up. Otherwise it's very, very useful. Magic Missile I've already talked about. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We could also use Disguise Self if we wanted Shadow Heart in our party. It's a good use, of course, to pick up Disguise Self. But since we're doing a solo run, it has no real application. We can only prepare one spell, but of course when we get 8 in intelligence we're gonna be able to prepare more spells. Is there anything else to talk about? Why did I pick the Githyanki? Well, I picked the Githyanki for 2 reasons. First of all, we can get medium armor proficiency, which means we can put the best armor in the game on, and we can get the highest armor class possible. Second of all, this class also gets Greatsword proficiency, and there's a very, very good Greatsword in this game, which synergizes so well with the Wizard. It gives you an Abjuration spell, which comes from the Cleric spellbook, which gives you 2 armor class, which you can cast as a bonus action on yourself. What's so good about this also, not only is it very good that you can get an extra 2 armor class on a character to make you very, very tanky, but also it makes it so that you will trigger the Abjuration Ward, because we're gonna go and become an Abjuration Wizard, which is gonna trigger that every time we cast that cantrip or that spell. So that's why we're picking up the Githyanki. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Let's venture forth. Member shout out. Man, shout out. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and a special thank you of course to all our members, on the patrons, and here on YouTube. You're gonna check out the join button next to the subscribe button if you're interested. Anyways, here they come! Oh! Adam Alexis, Simon Lauer, Rodney Cox, The Soft Pillow, Natalia Lizards, Lazy Stand Up, Michael W, Topless Investments, Peter Gold, Charles Stevens, Gabriel Yulo, Way, Mesabok 1, Tai Tai, Eli Moonlight Star, Draken 2000, Racing Fark, Invoke Legion, John Domin, Gesasaki, On77, Ellie Curtis, Noah VH, MC Hermes, Fumiak Kinoshta, Jacob, Steve Dominski, Skysurfer Zero, Tim Dutton, Jake, Dan Lindy, McDuncan, Rail, Gun, Chase Closed, Hansa Kloss, Agony Reborn, Ramen Noodles for me, Musketeer, Named Epithet, Der Lurgoff, Tim Lit, Nike, Stricker Mike, Quantum Ying, Shadow Fate Load, Ninja Astral, Optimus, Pocky U, Medic Pistol, Seppi 1310, Martin Newman, Catherine Loris, Scott, Dasby Scott, you, Jake Palmer, Thomas Schwartz, Kyle Hoff, Yul Robinson, Robert Montgomery, Salim Proctor, Zach Coyle, QGL 8 and 9. Some call me George Paris Hammond, Bill Murray, Kyle Wedgwood, Patrona Bavaria, Robert Barker, Adam Jacob, Fernando Vizu, Robert Lewis, Dr. Leos, Santa John, Benoit Pierre, Joseph Zuniga, Nate TMI, Shamanix, Matthias Porley, DJX Disorder, Carlos O'Dennis, Simon Fairley, Evan Miller, William Cunningham, Kevin Unea 1, Lim Lanson, Jon Silver, Yuri Lepkov, Isabel Nemi Lindfors, DJ D-Star in the Mix, Verokta, Connor Langdon, Show the Mad, George Rolhas, Link is Weak, Willie Beasley, Dan Goodsell, Aaron Noble, Drew Stiles, Adam Alexis, Matthew Goggins, Betsuma, Serge Carmaro, Freeman Stepson, Brenton Dobbs, Stevie Drummer, Rainbow Cake, Eventum Tantum, Piotr Stalorsk, Matthias Forward, Ninja Longnum, Infinite Draw, Dr. Jadron, Javier Diaz, Adam Ruth, Barbara McKinley, Butt with Ass, 7guy777, Big Bob, MTG, Patrick Henning, Liquid E, Thanatos, Nesmut, Truman, Jellybean, Patrick Parks, Martin Newman, Jonathan Burgess, Harshit Singh, Alexander G. Valencia, Loconated, Travis Markley, Frank Sherwood, Farron, Squiddy, Disquietus, I Ate My Neighbor, Christopher Tonkin, Guadalupe Hernandez, Bam Bam, Kevin Shee, Yoda for Sale, Trunks 305 in KC, Michael Brown, Mark Rutledge, Amber Parrott, Jacob Herrer, Rick Mr. Joe, Victor William Bayer, Kleine Dackel, Dr. Bosky, and David L. You guys are amazing. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. And see you tomorrow.
And thank you also. Your bad shoulders are better. What is that? What is that? More videos.
Didn't work. Did not work. Also, you can check out my Patreon link down below. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and see you tomorrow.